The curse of feeling too much. If you feel everything, you are easy to manipulate, easy to exhaust, easy to wound, but only until you learn what I'm about to tell you. There are people who move through life as if emotions were weather, shifting, harmless, passing. And then there are people like you, for whom every drop of emotion cuts deeper than it should. You walk into a room and immediately sense what others miss. Tension lingering in silence, irritation behind a smile, something breaking behind someone's eyes. Not because you want to, because your body refuses to ignore it. This isn't a habit. It's a sensitivity wired into your breath, your heartbeat, the tightening in your chest before a word is spoken. For people like you, the world often feels too loud, too sharp, too demanding. A sigh becomes disappointment. A pause becomes rejection. A raised eyebrow becomes judgment. And very quickly, you become predictable. Readable. Convenient. When you feel everything, everyone can reach you, even those who shouldn't. A stranger's mood can ruin your day. A careless sentence can echo for hours. A cold tone can freeze your entire system. What others call overreacting is simply the weight of a world your mind absorbs before you can defend yourself. No one sees how heavy your inner world is. They only see the reaction, not the storm beneath it. But the truth is simple. You were born with a radar that never shuts off, a heart that receives too much, a mind that processes too deeply. This is not weakness, not fragility, not a flaw. It is an untrained mechanism, a power without structure. And sensitivity, when unprotected, feels like drowning. But when understood, it becomes something else entirely. You're not here to fix your sensitivity. You're here to learn how to shape it, how to filter it, how to protect it. People who feel too much are not doomed. They simply need the tools they were never given. Tools that create emotional distance, that quiet the noise, that let you stay soft without being shattered. And those tools are waiting for you in this video. But first, you need to understand why your system reacts so intensely, why your emotions ignite so quickly, and why the wrong people are drawn to your sensitivity, the way predators are drawn to a wound. To stop feeling too much, you must understand where it all began. And the answer lies deeper than you think. The hypersensitive brain. Some people feel the world. Others absorb it. Not because they're dramatic, not because they overreact, but because their nervous system is built to notice what others overlook. Psychologist Elaine Aron, who first described the highly sensitive person, wrote that such individuals process information more deeply than others, often more than they want to. This alone creates stronger reactions to the world. You don't just see the surface of a moment. You see the tension underneath it, the pressure, the unsaid words, the tightening of a jaw, the silence that suddenly grows heavier. This isn't imagination. This is neurology. Neuroscientists like Joseph Ledoux found that highly sensitive people often have a more reactive amygdala, the part of the brain that scans constantly for danger or disappointment. It prepares you for impact before anything has even happened. A frown becomes a warning. A sigh feels like reproach. A pause becomes rejection, even when the reality is far less dramatic. And then there is the body. Sensitive people often have stronger physiological reactions, a faster heartbeat, a quicker surge of adrenaline, a deeper imprint left by every emotion. When something enters your system, it doesn't just pass through. It settles. It stays. When someone is sad, you feel their heaviness in your own chest. When someone judges you, your nervous system folds inward. This isn't weakness. This is emotional merging. Most people have a natural separation between me and you. Sensitive people don't. Their boundaries are thinner, more porous, more permeable. And here is the quiet truth. The world is not built for people who process this deeply. It overwhelms you. It exhausts you. It drains you. You were never meant to carry so much emotional weight. But no one taught you how to turn the volume down, how to block signals, how to say, "This feeling is not mine." Most people don't need these tools. You do. But before you learn how to protect yourself, you must understand where all of this began. Why your system became so alert, so responsive, so quick to react. And that takes us softly into your past. Childhood blueprint. The soft origin. Before you learned to feel too much, before you became the person who senses a storm in someone's silence, before your nervous system became a seismograph for other people's moods, there was a room, a childhood room. Quiet, familiar, and yet filled with information you were too small to understand. Not trauma, not chaos, not something cinematic. Often the opposite. A home where emotions were unpredictable, where peace depended on your ability to notice tiny shifts, where safety was something you earned by being attentive, careful, soft. Psychologists call this early emotional conditioning. But to a child, it feels simpler. If I notice fast enough, maybe nothing bad will happen. Let me tell you a story. Not yours, but close enough that it may feel like it is. There was a child, maybe 7, maybe 8, who learned to walk quietly. Not because anyone told them to, but because they felt the atmosphere of the house like weather. They could tell, before the door even closed, whether their father was tired, whether their mother was upset, whether dinner would be warm or silent. One evening, that child sat at the kitchen table, legs dangling off the chair, drawing something simple. A house, a sun, 2 figures holding hands. When a small sound came from the living room. A sigh, a sharper exhale. Nothing more. But the child froze. Not out of fear, but instinct. Something shifted. Something invisible. Their stomach tightened. Their breath grew shallow. Their heartbeat quickened like footsteps. They walked slowly to the doorway, trying to read the temperature of the room, their mind already scanning. They were a child, but already a diplomat, a therapist, or a peacekeeper. Most sensitive people have a similar story. The details change, but the blueprint stays the same. A childhood where you learned to anticipate, to soften yourself, to adjust, to disappear a little so others wouldn't explode or collapse or break. And here's the soft truth. You weren't too emotional. You were too young to carry what wasn't yours. Your sensitivity was not born out of weakness. It was born out of responsibility. Responsibility that should have never been yours. Why this matters now? As adults, people like you feel too much. Because once, long ago, you had to. Your brain learned to survive by reading others before reading yourself. Your body learned to tense before danger arrived. Your heart learned to care before anyone cared for you. But you don't live in that house anymore. You don't have to be the emotional shield. You don't have to carry the weight of every sigh. You don't have to absorb the atmosphere to stay safe. The sensitivity you developed in childhood can be unlearned, reshaped, redirected. And the moment you understand its origin, you're finally ready for the next step. Learning how this sensitivity draws emotional predators and how to stop being their favorite target. Emotional predators, why they target you. Sensitive people don't attract everyone. They attract a specific kind of person, again and again. Not because you're weak, but because your emotional field is open. To a manipulative personality, your sensitivity looks like an unlocked door. Let's talk about why. You react instantly. Predators look for people who show feelings quickly, a twitch in the face, a breath shift, a change in tone. Cold people hide. Sensitive people reveal. For a manipulator, your reactions are a map. They read you faster than you read yourself. They don't need to guess your emotions. You broadcast them. You take responsibility for things that aren't yours. Most sensitive people were raised to maintain emotional harmony. So when something goes wrong, you ask, was it my fault? Did I upset them? Predators test this instantly. A sigh, a pause, a colder tone. If you shift, soften, explain, they know. You can be guilted. You can be steered. You fear disconnection more than conflict. Sensitive people don't chase power. They chase peace. Manipulators weaponize this by using silence, withdrawal, distance, emotional coldness. They know you will try to repair the connection you always did. To them, this is leverage. The real reason they choose you. Here is the quiet truth. They don't choose you because you're fragile. They choose you because you're warm. Your kindness, your intuition, your understanding, your emotional depth. These are treasures for people who feel empty inside. Your abundance attracts hunger. But now that you understand what they see, you can change what you offer them. And in the next chapter, you will learn the filters cold people use to stay untouched, even when the world tries to enter them. Psychological distance, the 5 tools that make you untouchable. There comes a moment in every sensitive person's life when something becomes painfully clear. You cannot stop people from being loud, emotional, unpredictable. But you can stop their feelings from entering you. Not by becoming cold, not by cutting people off, but by learning emotional distance, the quiet superpower cold people use without thinking. These methods are not therapy, not affirmations. They are older, sharper, quieter, invisible tools used by people who stay calm no matter what enters the room. Here are the 5 tools that change everything. The glass wall. When someone speaks with too much intensity, imagine a clear, weightless glass wall between you and them. You see them, you hear them, but their emotion hits the surface and slides down like rain on a window. Nothing enters, nothing attaches, nothing absorbs. Cold people do this instinctively. Now you can too. The red curtain. When someone's frustration spills toward you, pull a thick velvet curtain in your mind, soft, heavy, silent. Their emotion becomes muted. Their tone becomes distant. Their storm loses its sharpness. You observe without merging. You exist without absorbing. A cinematic shield, simple and powerful. The gray surface. You don't become numb. You become unreadable. Imagine your emotional surface turning matte, smooth, quiet. Your expressions shift slowly. Your voice stays level. You don't offer quick reactions. When someone cannot analyze you, they cannot control you. Undefined people cannot be manipulated. The meta shift. This is one of the most effective tools for sensitive minds. When someone overwhelms you, mentally step a little behind your body, as if you were watching the moment over your own shoulder. Your awareness sits behind you, calm, separate, untouched. Their words hit your body, but not your center. This is distance without disconnecting, a controlled dissociation. Clean, artistic, safe. The empty chair. If someone's emotion feels too heavy, imagine it directed not at you, but at a chair beside you. You still hear them. You still understand them, but you are no longer the target. Their emotion lands, just not in your heart. This breaks the old instinct to internalize everything people feel. Why these tools work. Your sensitivity isn't the problem. Your lack of distance is. Feeling deeply is your gift. Absorbing everything is what breaks you. These 5 tools, the glass wall, the curtain, the gray surface, the meta shift, the empty chair, allow you to stay soft without being shattered. They don't silence your emotions. They silence the impact of other people's emotions. And once you can create distance, you are ready for the next step. Learning how to keep manipulative people from using your sensitivity as an entrance into your mind. Becoming untouchable. There is a version of you that no one has touched yet. Not the bruised one. Not the overwhelmed one. Not the version that bends under pressure or dissolves in other people's storms, but the version that stands still in a world that keeps shaking. The version built not from ice but from clarity, not from walls but from wisdom, not from numbness but from distance. This is the moment you meet them. Becoming untouchable. There is a version of you that no one has touched yet. Not the bruised one, not the overwhelmed one, not the version that bends under pressure or dissolves in other people's storms, but the version that stands still in a world that keeps shaking. The version built not from ice but from clarity, not from walls but from wisdom, not from numbness but from distance. This is the moment you meet them. Untouchable doesn't mean cold. People misunderstand this word. They think being untouchable means not feeling anything, cutting everyone off, living alone in emotional armor. But real untouchability is much quieter. It means you feel, but you don't collapse. You care, but you don't bleed. You listen, but you don't absorb. Your sensitivity becomes a choice, not a reflex. A gift, not a doorway for others to walk through. Untouchable means you choose your depth. There will always be people who try to pull something out of you. Reaction, apology, guilt, confession, chaos. Before, you gave it freely. Now, you give nothing by accident. Your energy is no longer a public space, but a private room with a locked door and soft lighting only you control. Anyone can knock. Few will enter. This is power, the kind most people never learn. People misunderstand this word. Untouchable means your center cannot be moved. You are no longer pulled by every mood in the room. You no longer chase connection with those who withhold it. You no longer try to calm storms you didn't create. You stand where you stand, unmoved, untilted, unshaken. People feel this. They sense the shift. The same ones who used to reach for your softness now hesitate, because they don't recognize the version of you that cannot be emotionally entered. Untouchable means you carry your own weather. Cold people block the world. Chaotic people drown in it. You become something else entirely. You become your own atmosphere. Others can rain, shout, storm, erupt. But your weather doesn't change. Your air stays still. Your sky stays clear. Your ground stays steady. Because you don't chase emotional stability, you are emotional stability. The final truth. You were never too sensitive. You were never too emotional. You were never too much. You were simply unprotected, unfiltered, wide open in a world that never learned how to treat softness. Now you're not. Now you know the distance. Now you know the practices. Now you know the shields. Now you know how to feel without losing yourself. And this is where we leave you. Be still. The world will move around you.